विष्णु देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. Invocation. Thou infinite, abiding presence, thy all-pervading light, thy opulence of substance is omnipresent and all-pervading. We open the activity of the outer consciousness into the conscious direction and molding into form of every good thing we desire. We give praise and thanks for thy intelligent action in these minds, with thy love, thy wisdom, and thy power to guide them, to raise them into all perfection. I bring you greetings from those ascended masters, ascended ones, who ever minister to the messenger of light, wrapping their mantles of light, illumination, and protection about them. The Discourse. I had not intended to explain quite yet the undesirability of any thought or condition of the psychic plane, but the demand compels it to come forth. In the first place, the student must understand that what is called the psychic plane has nothing whatsoever to do with spirituality. It is a faculty of the human consciousness which can be brought into play by human beings who will give sufficient attention to it. But the individuals who wishes to reach into the psychic plane alone, either consciously or unconsciously, had better never be born into the embodiment. कैसे बोल रहे हैं सुना आप लोग ने? Have you all understood this? Did you all understand this, Salima?
Master explain, no?
वो बोलते हैं कि जो साइकिक प्लेन्स में जाते हैं एलिमेंट्स, so psychic plane and astral planes are planes where the human beings go between heaven and earth. Okay, it is etheric, but it is not physical and it is not spirit. It is etheric and it is between physical and it is between heaven. It is not, it's a plane where the human beings go after death if they don't cross over directly to heaven. So as I teach you in the oneness, achieving oneness class, when I teach you all, I tell you that when a person dies, the first 12 hours, the person gets immense light, whether he is a dacoit or he is a saint. All of us get immense light from our higher selves and divine spark. And if you are concentrating on that light, you directly jump over above the death and birth cycle, or you go to the higher layers of heaven. But if you don't do that, then when you go into your astral body, if you miss out on that light, because you at the same time the light is coming, you see your whole life's picture, what you've done. And if you have done wrong and wrong things, you get scared at that time. Oh my God, what's going to happen to me now? You get so scared, you miss out on the light. And then when you miss out on the light, you go to in your astral body. And when you go to your astral body, that is between two planes, that is the heaven and the physical earth. So to talk to people from the astral plane is not good. So sometimes we feel my daddy has come, my nanny has come, my guest fellow came from. Don't talk to any spirits. Don't talk. Close your doors. Only talk to divine. Sometimes people die and they say, we want to speak to our. I never talk. I'll talk to divine Divine will bring them. If divine speaks to me through them, then I will give you message. Don't talk directly. Salima, are you understanding this, what they are saying? It is a faculty of the human consciousness which can be brought into play by human beings who will give sufficient attention to it. But the individuals who wishes to reach into the psychic plane alone, either consciously or unconsciously, had better never be born into the embodiment. The fascination of the phenomena of the psychic plane, I assure you, is most alluring. Means you खींचते हैं हम उसकी तरफ. Alluring. For those whose attention become firmly anchored in the psychic plane, do not loosen themselves from it and that embodiment, and it may take several embodiments to free them. Means अगर हम एक टाइम साइकिक प्लेन के साथ अटैच हो गए और ये एस्ट्रल स्पिरिट्स के साथ अटैच हो गए, फिर उसके साथ अलग होने में हमें बहुत सारे जीवन लगते हैं. In all strata of consciousness, there is a fragment of truth unrecognized. In all strata of consciousness, there is a fragment of truth unrecognized. Meaning, हर एक चीज जो हमें समझती है उसमें कोई तो ऐसी सच्चाई है जो हमें समझ में नहीं आती. We have not recognized that truth, that part of truth. Otherwise, it would not be possible for it to be sustained. Because you must understand that in all things and in all activities, there is some more or less of God energy acting, misused truly, but nevertheless active. So, ये जो एनर्जी हम यूज करते हैं वो भगवान की है बात करने में साइकिक प्लेन में भी, लेकिन हम वो एनर्जी को मिसयूज कर रहे हैं. उससे भगवान की एनर्जी ही यूज करते हैं. एनर्जी तो भगवान की यूज करते हैं. Whatever we are using is God's energy, but we are misqualifying that energy. You get it? The sincere student will give no attention to the phenomena of psychic, seeing or hearing, but understands that he must push directly through by the power of the inner will, through his outer determination, and enter within the electronic belt where only the truth is expressed. So all of us must not go through the psychic plane at all, but enter the electronic belt. I think we must start practicing the electronic belt from tomorrow morning. Rita, Salima Tejal. Rita, Salima Tejal, 7 o'clock, we'll practice the electronic belt first thing.
Yes, Master.
Yeah, thank
Master, I'll join. I'll join.
Join. Most welcome. Because
Yeah,
the electronic belt, Hanji,
Shehnaz aunty should also join every day.
Yes,
she
yes, I'll join.
should
I will
jo
join.
kai nahi hai. There's nothing like should.
No, no, I will
We
join.
have everything. We have opened everything. Now people want to join, they join. No shoulds in anything. Beloved student, while it is necessary to explain this, I want you to make up your minds not to have any fear. Within the psychic stratum of thought and feeling is the principal activity of what we know as the sinister force in this world. So it is in the psychic planes that all sinister activities happen. Sinister means all dark activities. Sometimes souls with splendid inner attainment, not understanding the true reality of this, of which I speak, have allowed their attention to become drawn to this stratum because of the premature awakening of this physical faculty by a semblance of truth being presented to them and some phenomena enough to hold their attention. After the attention becomes fixed, everyone, without exception, will find the semblance of truth disappearing. Meaning what? You understand? कैसे करते हैं psychic message जो astral souls है ना, when they attach themselves to you, they will first start talking to you. They say, see now, your bus will come. Huh? If you're standing on the bus stop, the bus will come in 5 minutes. Wait, don't go away. So you will wait, and yeah, low your bus will come. Then they will tell you some truth about your family member. Is your so and so will die on so and so date, and it happens. ऐसे करके सब बातें बता के हमें चुंगल में लेते हैं सारे. Okay, then you feel, oh yeah, I am getting all true messages. This is a good one, and मुझे परवा guidance दे रहा है, and true messages are. Then they sort of slowly lead you to the negative. You get it? How it happens? You get it, all of you? One of these attributes, which is perhaps most fascinating, is the false prophecy, which are made causing the individual to make wild prophecies, and once in a while, one being fulfilled in order to bind the attention more strongly. इतनी सारी prophecies बोलते हैं, फिर एक सच्ची हो जाती तो बोले अरे अरे इसमें तो बहुत power है. With this, there is also a certain substance which is drawn into the brain. I may not yet explain further to you. This makes it impossible even for the master to interfere to help the individual because of his own free will by which he has accepted this. So with this, there is also a certain substance which is drawn into the brain. Means the psychic people put something into your brain. These spirits of the astral world put something into your brain, which even the masters cannot remove it afterwards.
Can you elaborate? How can we understand further with examples this part?
Simple. There is this part they are saying we can't even explain this to you, what they are putting in the brain for you. But they must be putting something in your brain which then the masters can also not free you from it because you have chosen to speak with the psychic world. And then वो तुम्हें भ्रमित करते ही रहते. There are few cases, however, in which the individual realized the mistake before he had gone too far, and by intense calling to be liberated, one of the brothers was sent to release the individual completely. उनका भी उनकी इसकी बात करते हैं बिरादरी में कि one person had been in a psychic contact, but then he didn't go too deep in it, and before he could go too deep, he called to the divine, and one of the ascended masters went and helped him out. There is occasionally a rare nature who, because of its great purity, passes through the psychic stratum without even ever knowing it or contacting it. This kind of individual is very fortunate indeed. Means koi itne pure hote hai ki even if they come in contact with the psychic, they do not know it is all that, and because they are pure, nothing happens to them. This kind of individual is very fortunate. The forces within this stratum work more directly upon the feeling nature, and this means upon the passion of the individual because it is more easily reached. So what happens? Okay, these people work on your passion, sexual passion or anger. In two ways they act upon the psychic. If you are in connection with the psychic plane because you want to know things and all that, and then these people act on your sex and on your passion. Men and women who have lost the controlling power over their passion, which may be either sex or anger, have knowingly or unknowingly become entangled in the psychic stratum of thought and feeling, thereby opening the doors of their beautiful and wonderful temples of God. So you are a temple of God, and you've opened that door to the psychic world. Through the open door, the forces within the psychic stratum fasten upon them, intensify their own passion into an uncontrolled condition, which otherwise might be controlled. So they fulfill their desires through you. They fulfill their desires through you. If they want to have sex, then they fulfill their desires through your body, through you.
Okay, the master, how it works?
How it works means, see, if you are not connected with the highly divine and if you are not taking protection And if you are all the time negatively thinking negative and talking to the psychic, say, ye and wo spirits, then they attach themselves to you. Then when your ચક્રની અંદરની એક વેબ હોય તે વેબ ફાટી જાય ને through lot of anger and passion, so they enter your temple through that web and then they are into you. Then that spirit who is into you makes you work for them, and they want their desires to be fulfilled.
એ આપણને ફીલિંગ થાય, એ ફીલ થાય આપણને.
ફિલિંગ કારણ કે પછી તને આખી તારી સ્પિરિટ ને દબાવી દે. એનું સ્પિરિટ ને જે જોઈતી હોય તે તારી પાસે કામ કરા.
ઓકે
બધા ખરાબ કામ કરા.
ઓકે થેન્ક યુ.
You don't have to get scared because you have to only not talk with any spirit. Grandfather, grandmother, જે બી આવ્યું તેની સાથે વાત જ નહીં કરવાની. This one came and that one came, એ વાત જ નહીં કરવાની. Because we really don't know who's coming through whom. You have to only talk with divine. That's it. Or your own higher soul. That's it.
અચ્છા તમે આગળ જે બોલી ગયા ને એ બધું બ્રેકિંગ વોઇસ માં આવ્યું, સમજાણું નહીં. કટ થઈને આવતું હતું. I couldn't hear what you said.
What you could not hear.
તમારો તમારો અવાજ બ્રેક થતો હતો માસ્ટર.
See, you must not speak to any spirit. When we do open soul communication channel of spiritual commission, what is the first thing? Do not speak to any dark side. We don't know. આપણો grandfather, grandmother, father, mother એ બધા ઉપર ગયા તે dark side માં ગયા કે light side માં ગયા. We don't know. વાત જ નહીં કરવાની. એક underline આયા જ મૂકી દેવાનું કે spirits સાથે વાત નહીં કરવાની. વાત કરવી હોય તો ખાલી you have to speak with saints and divine and your own higher self. That's it. મારા ગ્રેટ ગ્રાન્ડમધર આયા ને મારા ગ્રાન્ડમધર આયા ને મારો ભાઈ આવ્યો ને મારી બેન આયા, કોઈની સાથે વાત જ નહીં, because we don't know કે really does that spirit is coming or they are just fooling you. From the psychic world somebody is coming and fooling you all the time and taking you for a ride, and then they capture your body. So what happens? Let's see. Through the open door, the forces within the psychic stratum fasten upon themselves, intensify their own passion into an uncontrolled condition which otherwise might be controlled. Far better had an individual walked into a den of rattlesnakes, for then they would have but thrown off the physical body and been free. Means एक rattlesnake का den में गए ना अगर हम, स्नेक के डैन में गए तो वो ज्यादा अच्छा है बोलता है. सांपों की दुनिया में जाके हम मर तो गए उधर जाके, तो अपना स्पिरिट तो कब्जे में नहीं चला गया, ये तो मरने के बाद अपना स्पिरिट कब्जे में चला जाए. तो देखो, far better had such individuals walked into a den of rattlesnakes, for then they would have but thrown off the physical bodies and been free. But once enmeshed in the psychic sphere, they are often bound for many embodiments. Means वो spirit दूसरी embodiment तुम्हारे साथ रहती है, तीसरी में भी, चौथी में भी, वो छोड़ती नहीं तुम्हें. Why is this? Because they make records within their mental bodies, mental worlds, from which they do not know how to extricate themselves. तुम्हारी मेंटल वर्ल्ड में ये रिकॉर्ड हो गया और फिर वो एक्सट्रिकेट मींस ब्रिंग योरसेल्फ आउट ऑफ दिस, दे डोंट नो. Consequently, these souls are reborn again with those same tendencies until after the second or third embodiment they become the depraved creatures you see about you wherever you go. ये छोटे छोटे क्रीचर बन जाते हैं ना, तीसरे चौथे एम्बॉडीमेंट में वो छोटे छोटे कीड़े मकोड़े हम बन जाते. Sometimes the influence is cunning enough to hide this from the outer world for a long time. Thus, carrying on its nefarious work as it thinks in secret. Here comes the most heart-rending part of this explanation. I mean to say, it seems so from the outer sense. On the higher planes of activities, there are great, beautiful souls who volunteer to go into the stratum to help through their radiation to break its hold upon humanity. Means, जो ascended masters है, through their own radiation, they go to these planes to relieve souls who have got enmeshed by mistake and now want freedom, or they don't know what to do. So they are going there and helping other souls to become free. These volunteers are both masculine and feminine. More often, however, they are feminine. This explains why beautiful souls in a feminine embodiment becomes united in outer marriage with the masculine soul who has become enmeshed in the psychic condition. Often the individual, thus enmeshed, becomes most cunningly sensitive and with remarkable accuracy. Sense conditions, thus many times causing others with whom they come into contact to temporarily think it is real. ये समझ में नहीं आया. So these volunteers are both masculine and feminine. Means बहुत सारे ladies भी means ऐसे शादी करते हैं ऐसे लोगों को कि मैं उसको free कराऊंगी, suppose. So more often, however, they are feminine. This explains why beautiful souls. Rita, तुम्हारा क्या दिख रहा है मुझे? मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. Which part of your body is being shown to me? Your ears or what? What are they? Your hands or what? तो सोते सोते सुन रही है. Okay. More often, however, they are feminine. This explains why beautiful souls in a feminine embodiment become united in outer marriage with the masculine soul who has become enmeshed in this psychic condition. तो कभी कभी higher souls होते हैं, वो सोचते हैं कि मेरा कोई होगा उसको मैं छुड़ाऊं, तो जन्म में आते हैं higher souls to marry that person and bring that person out. Often the individual thus enmeshed becomes most cunningly sensitive and with remarkable accuracy sense conditions, thus many times causing others with whom they come into contact to temporarily think it is real. I don't understand. Temporarily think it is real. If individuals coming to the point of being united in marriage, man-made, would come out to the God within the mighty I am present, that if this marriage is taking place through the desire of passion, then let it never be done. Great grief and torture would thus be avoided. So what they are saying is that sometimes what happens is some individuals pretend to be very good. They're actually enmeshed in the psychic world, but they pretend to be very, very good. And they marry very nice people and then they make their lives miserable. So if anybody is marrying somebody, you must always say, dear God, we must call upon mighty I am presence. If this marriage is taking place through the desire of passion, then let it never be done. Means if I am only getting married to this person because this person wants sex, let it never be done. Now we come to the real part. The individuals who through their own effort or through instructions being presented to them get the true understanding of the mighty I am presence means that it is the true and the mighty self and hold earnestly to it, never again can be drawn into those discordant things unless from their own volunteering from the higher planes of activity where they know exactly what they are doing. Means those who have completely into the I am, completely who are there in the I am, there is no chance that he'll ever get entangled with the psychic plane. They will never get entangled with the psychic plane. However, if they choose to go themselves to give radiation from a higher point of view to release and help others, that is a different thing. Ward periods are more readily than any other open individuals to the psychic planes. In the period of war, people are more prone to the psychic planes. Consequently, it has been observed that after war periods, there is always a great unleashing of the uncontrolled passion than at any other time. So war के time पे लोग इतना psychic plane के साथ करते हैं कि उसके बाद जो वो spirits take over करते हैं और बहुत passion means people go into a lot of sexual passion after war. Knowing this should in no wise cause anyone to fear this psychic stratum. All this after knowing, we don't have to go into fear. If students find themselves conscious of passing through it, they should instantly take the consciousness. I am the controlling master presence. ये लिखो कोई तो तेजल 259 page, mark it.
Yes,
Please put it on the group. I am the controlling master presence, always victorious. I am the controlling master presence, always victorious. Another line you can always say is the light of God never fails. And they will instantly find strength to face whatever appears and go fearlessly and serenely through. Jesus suggested that this explanation be given while the students were under the triple radiation. That this triple radiation means that in his radiation, he always carries with it the triple activity of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, or the I Am. The Son is Jesus himself, the Father is the higher self, and the Holy Spirit is the I Am. All who apply the I Am presence are receiving the triple activity. As long as they maintain it, the triple activity is always self-sustained. So Jesus said that as long as people are getting radiation from the divine, they will never get carried away in the psychic plane. Astrology. One of the saddest things I have to say to you is that many of those attempting to cast horoscopes are unknowingly drawing themselves into the psychic net and are becoming sensitized and voicing the adverse conditions which exist only in this stratum. This is what means adverse conditions सारे psychic plane में होते हैं. This is one of the most unfortunate activity because the individual is so entirely unaware that he has opened his door until he has become so enmeshed that no more amount of argument or reasoning will change his belief in astrology. Means itna wo astrology में बोल के ये होगा वो होगा. So they get enmeshed. Enmeshed means what? They get caught up completely in it. And then people who try to explain to them, it doesn't go. It has happened with us also, my family also. Through astrology, people take command of you, your family, and make you slaves. Remember this. In the past 20 years, the avenue of astrology has been used for this purpose more than any other. Many times through this, the thought or radiation from this stratum says that the certain condition will manifest for the individual which he cannot avoid. If it is not said in so many words, it is felt through the radiation. They say that what happens is that they predict negative for you. They predict negative, and in such a way they predict if you start believing in it, which is wrong. Because we have the I Am presence to transform anything negative which is going to come to you. Okay? Hello? We all have the power to transform anything negative which is going to come to you. So this is one of the principal reasons why last cataclysm of Atlantis occurred and why people of the Atlantis in the great majority refused to listen to the wisdom of the masters who prophesies from reality the destruction of Atlantis. So the destruction of Atlantis only was there because they stopped listening to the prophecies of the masters and they believed in the negativity so much. That is why Atlantis also got destroyed. I understand, beloved students, that some of you who have been so interested in your horoscopes may think I am severe. However, such is not the case, but my love for you is great enough that I may speak to you the unadulterated truth. If you cannot believe the truth which I speak to you, then you must go on your way, for you are individuals of free will, which I have no desire to interfere with, except that I am privileged to point the way. So what they say is that we will tell you the truth and we can only point the way. We cannot, you have a free will to follow or not follow, okay? We can only point the way. Individuals who will cling tenaciously to the I am presence, tenaciously means sadatke, tenacious. Individuals who will cling tenaciously to the I am presence need never anything, anywhere, ever fear any of these things because it will correct them and hold them steadily on the true path of light, up whose golden stairs they may climb with definite precision into their full dominion and perfection. Meaning, those who will just cling on to the I am presence, those who just believe in the I am presence, have nothing to fear, but they will steadily climb and do the ascension path completely. I assure you, beloved ones, that my heart goes out with all its strength to the individuals whose attention is held by astrology, for they are so unaware of the path, way strewn with thorns, which they have entered upon and will pierce their feet, causing them to cry out in agony. And only when the agony becomes great enough will they call out with all their beings, saying, "Oh God, show me the true way." So once you get into this astrology part, and you can ask me and Rita both how we have also gone through all that, that once you get into this part of astrology and you get enmeshed in it, I mean, it's just like a maze. You can get lost. Your soul can get lost over there until you cry out to the divine, "Okay, please save me." That way. Beloved students, you who so earnestly seek the light, know there is but the one presence that is your invincible protection, and that is the great I am presence, God in you. Do not let your attention ever be held by these many outer manifestations, astrology, the power of numbers, spiritualism, or any of the many things that would take your attention away from the mighty I am presence, which is your real self. Yeah? Well, we must not take your attention away from your real self. That is the main thing. If you turn to it at all times, it will lead you in the pathway of light, strewn with the rarest flowers, whose very fragrance will enfold you with the strength and peace that passeth understanding. Meaning, strength and peace, passeth understanding means इतना strength और इतना peace मिलेगा ना आप लोग को कि आप वो fathom भी नहीं कर सकते, वो understand भी नहीं करके इतना मुझे peace कहाँ से मिल रहा है. अगर आप डट के रहेंगे ना on the part of the I am, that there's nothing but the I am and all these other things are bakwas. तो आपको इतना inner strength and inner peace मिलेगा and your path will be filled with flowers. With the stillness of the outer, which will enable you to enter into great silence, where you will find the greatest invisible activity of God, the I am present. Beloved ones, surely you must understand that you cannot serve two masters and gain any victory ahead. Two masters mean either your outer self completely melts with the inner one, higher self, but if the outer wants to do one activity and then so you cannot do outer activity, and inner act. Your outer has to melt completely. You cannot serve two masters. Beloved ones, surely you must understand that you cannot serve two masters and gain any victory ahead. Having free will, you must choose. If you choose the outer, forgetting your invincible I am presence, if you choose the outer, then my love goes with you, enfolding you in his mighty mantle of protection until such time as you choose to return to the one God. So if you choose that you want to remain in the outer world, have fun, do this, that, it's okay to have fun, but always connected that way. But if you want to follow a life of passion and all these things and be disconnected, then he says, my love is for you and my love will protect you until you choose to come back to the inner. That's what he's saying. So if you choose your I am presence and adhere to it, then your struggles are soon over and you will find yourself moving into the sphere of peace. And that is very true. If you will find that you are totally connected to the I am all the time, then all your struggles will be passed off and suddenly you will be in a sphere of peace, harmony, and perfection, wherein you look upon the outer world with great compassion, but never with the human sympathy which would stifle your own growth. So कभी भी sympathy नहीं देनी है किसी को भी. Compassion is good, sympathy is not good. In the previous chapters, we had spoken about sympathy. So this, because when you sympathize, you go on that same level and same frequency of the person and make that person weak. But if you have compassion in you, you uplift that person to the I am. That is the great difference. You understand? When you sympathize with that person, you try to spoon feed that person and help that person, but you make that person weak. Whereas when you have compassion and empathy, you strengthen the person to fight and wake up and get connected with the I am. This reminds us of the old time-worn statement, seek you first the kingdom of heaven. All the outer things are added or given into your use under your command. That kingdom of heaven is the great I am presence, the only reality of you who is the owner and giver of all created and manifested things. Means what they are saying is that all you have to do is seek the kingdom of heaven, and the kingdom of heaven is I am. And once you are with your I am, you can manifest whatever you require. Instead of hankering after material things and doing all that, instead of that, just be connected with your I am. Is it not strange, beloved student, that one will so long wander about in discord and limitation when the master presence of light, the I am presence, walks by one's side at all time, waiting one's decision to turn to it and receive its radiant, glorious blessings of perfection in all outer manifestations. Such is your privilege, O beloved one. So he's saying it is so silly that a human being is striving and going and giving so much importance to the outer world instead of recognizing the I am power, which is so much within you, which you can unleash and you can get everywhere. And the I am power is just walking with you, waiting for it to be recognized by you. We're waiting for you to, being acknowledged. So it is so, we as human beings are so much wasting time in life. In spite of all outer activities, the atmosphere of the classes is truly divine. While I'm sorry that some have not felt the true importance of their I am presence and that they still reach to outer things, I but wait enfolding them in my love, for they have free will. So he says for the class he's taking, still some people in the class are still hankering for the outer presence. So he says, I will still give them my love and wait them to come, because everything is about free will. If you choose, like today I asked Farooq to come, Farooq said, no, I'm not coming. So it's a free will. Perhaps I'm a little old fashioned, but when I see individuals that are so good and so fine, I would just like to pick them up and hold them in my embrace until they could realize the full importance of their own mighty I am presence. But this I may not do, for I so well know that all who have any desire left to to reach to the without must do so until that desire is no longer apparent. Reach to the without. Without means not within, without. If those who want to engage in more in the outward, then without being engaged in the inward, then they should do it until they are fully satisfied of it. And they themselves want to turn themselves into the inner. Did you get this? I would just
Yes,
like to pick them up and hold them in my embrace. So he says, I would love to pick every person up and hold them in my embrace. Saint Germain is saying. Until they could realize the full importance of the mighty I am present. So he would love to pick all of us up and hold us. But he will not do that because of the free will given to the human being. And until the human being himself or herself does not realize, no, now I want to turn inward only. Until, see, this is very well said. But this I may not do. He would love to do, but he will not do. Why? For I so well know that all who have any desire left to reach to the without means to the outer self, must do so. They must go on attaching themselves to the outer self until that desire is no longer apparent. Means अभी उसको कोई इच्छा ही नहीं है outer self के साथ. जब तक वो नहीं है इच्छा, तब तक करने दो, ऐसा बोलते हैं. You understand what I'm saying? Very beautifully said. The student must understand that they cannot divide their attention between the I am presence, the outer things, and outer things. For it is a house divided against itself and must sooner or later fall. Means agar aap apne aap ko divide karoge, so you will be fall. But in everything that you do, you have that I am, I am, I am that. I am God in action. I am God. God. Every time you just say that, just how it is. The student must understand that they cannot divide their attention between the I am presence and outer things, for it is a house divided against itself and must sooner or later fall. All greatness is dependent on the I am presence, and it is the governor of the form, or should be. Means the I am is the one who governs the whole form. In it is all strength, courage, and power. Those blessed children, if they could only realize fully what a privilege stands at their doors and how it is comparatively short time they could gain freedom from all limitations. So only those who are blessed, those blessed children, if they could only realize fully what a privilege stands at their doors, means if people can realize that they are so privileged to have the I am stand at their doors, and how in a comparatively short time they could get freedom from all limitations. Means ये जो limited life है, उसके में से हमें इतना जल्दी freedom मिल सकता है. This dictation, they've just written this dictation. What is it? I don't know. The situation is this: when students ask if they might listen to these dictations themselves, They are entitled to the explanation of what is necessary for the work of this kind, for it is most unusual, we know. The fact is that one God is always, the fact is that the one God is always perfect, always was and is now and always will be, and the I am presence is that presence. But if they have not been aware of this, the body and brain of the student must go through a period of adjustment. That adjustment of the outer self takes weeks, months, or years to accomplish anything to the requirement of the students. What they are trying to say is that this dictation is this discourse which is being dictated. Can they do it on their own, like we are doing it on our own? But they are saying you can do it. But what happens? These dictations also, to understand them, your body and mind has to go through a lot of adjustments. Otherwise, you cannot understand these dictations at all. If you try to read them on your own, you cannot understand it. You have until your body and mind has gone through adjustments, which for many years and weeks. Never in the history of the preparation of the student has the master ever allowed them to come within his own inner electronic circle. The students come or are taught the application, but they never come into the inner electronic circle of the master himself. So the master, that is Saint Germain, would not take anybody inside his own circle of the electronic belt. They are never taken. Why? Because the student's body is not ready. The students come or are taught the application, but they never come into the inner electronic circle of the master himself. The electronic circle prepared here for this work has required 30 years of preparation. And no matter how beautifully the radiation and love of an individual are, we do not have time to prepare and adjust the atomic structure of the brain and body of the student at this period of world crisis. But with their sincere determination and use of the I am presence, they will be prepared for the presence of the ascended host. What they are saying is this electronic radiation which they get from the master, to get that, your body has to be prepared for 30 years to absorb the radiation. Otherwise, your body can be damaged. That's what they're saying. Your body can be damaged if you do it. So, if your body is not adjusted, your brain is not adjusted to it, then you cannot do it. However, if you have sincere connection with the I am, if you have sincere connection with the I am presence, they will definitely give the presence of the ascended host will definitely be there. Ascended master will be there for them. The atomic structure is a mechanical instrument, and innumerable parts must work in harmony and perfect cooperation with each other. The students do not understand that when a certain definite specific work is to be done, there must be definite preparation for it. For illustration, take one who by nature is endowed with an unusual quality for giving forth lectures in public. Suppose a person has to give lecture in public. If he is to have the assistance of the ascended host, there must be special preparation for it. So if you want that, so if I want that through me, divine wisdom should flow, then, and I want the ascended host to flow through me, there must be a special preparation within me, right? I can't just not be sit and this will happen. The individual would be so prepared that from 20 minutes to half an hour before the lecture, that one would be enclosed in a tube of light into which nothing entered except the radiation of the inspiring master. Means जो flow करता है उसको tube of light में लोग रख लेते हैं आधा घंटा पहले कि जब वो बैठ के करे ये तो वो ट्यूब ऑफ लाइट मीन्स और कुछ भी उनको बाहर का इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं करता एक्सेप्ट द ascended master's words are coming out from the mouth. Benediction. हो गया complete. We are doing the prayer. Benediction. Out of the fullness of our hearts, please repeat after me. Out of the fullness of our hearts, Almighty presence, we give praise and thanks for the love, wisdom, and power. We give praise and thanks for the mighty rays that have gone out to each student today. We give thanks for the intensity of this focus that quickens the assurance within the students of the truth of their mighty presence of the I am, which is the true self. Strengthen them, each one, with the firm determination to hold to that one presence which is all freedom, all perfection, eternal youth and beauty. So there's some question answers are there. Is the God Meru larger structure? One question is asked. And the answer to that is the God Meru is about 7 feet and of the most wonderful proportion. The god Himalaya is about 7 feet 2 inches. The god Tabor is about 8 feet. He comes from a very, very ancient race of people. Some question answers there in the notes. Okay, so we've ended chapter 22 and we are on chapter 23. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Love
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. God bless.